Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of the Waveland and Sheffield Podcast. If you don't know what this podcast, like the name of it, means, Waveland and Sheffield is basically two streets in the neighborhood of Wrigleyville in the city of Chicago. It's right outside of Wrigley Field, and this will obviously, as I just said, will be a Chicago Cubs-based channel. I am a huge Cubs fan. I watch this team on a daily basis. I think about this team on a daily basis. I tweet about this team almost on a daily basis. So I will put my I'll put my Twitter handle in the description down below. I'm very sorry for some of my English. I can get a little nervous around here, but I'm just really grateful to be doing this, and I want to just create a new community with you guys. I want to create something really special, and I love Cubs fans. You guys are just some of the greatest fans. Our fans are some of the greatest, and our team is really good this year. So I'm just really excited. I listen to a lot of Cubs podcasts, and you obviously hear the names like Wrigleyville or Locked On Cubs, or you'll hear the name Clark, or you'll hear Addison, but you'll never hear Waveland, you'll never hear Sheffield. So I thought, that's an underrated aspect of Wrigley and like the Cubs. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna name that mine. And I created a kind of a profile picture of like Waveland and Sheffield, kind of made some edits on that. And I just can't wait to get to business. I mean, I love talking about this team, and I want to always share my thoughts. And I do like to, as I mentioned before, tweet about the Cubs. So if you guys want to see my tweets and get my immediate thoughts, my Twitter handle is down in the description below. And I can't wait to get started. So what we're going to go over first is this past Cubs series that just ended yesterday. Today's July 31st, the trade deadline. But we just came off a series loss to the Milwaukee Brewers, and I think we've had a bit of a struggle post All-Star break. We won our first series against the Red Sox, which was really good. We had a lot of home run balls going around. The Royals series was really, really bad. That was just terrible. And then the White Sox series, we won that series, had some good wins, but had a really bad loss on that Friday night. It ended the White Sox 8-game losing streak against us. As the Cubs have had their number, and they now lead the all-time series against them, like, I believe 77 to 75, I believe. And then we played the Brewers, and the first two games weren't good. We were able to salvage a win yesterday. So talking about the Brewers series, we had Matthew Boyd, who's been very underrated. Just in general, just really good. He's been arguably our best pitcher. He's got like a 2-point-something ERA. He's been like the best behind Managa. He's arguably been better, but that start on Monday was his worst start of the year probably. He just didn't have his command. His command wasn't there. Half the pitches were balls and strikes, and then Yelich was taking advantage. Andrew Vaughn, he left the White Sox, and now he's absolutely dominating with the Milwaukee Brewers. He's got like a 1,300 OPS. I mean, it's absolutely insane what the Milwaukee Brewers are able to do. They don't make the exciting moves, but boy, do they find ways. They find ways, and they are a pesky team that no one wants to deal with. And I mean, it showed in the first two games of the series. The second game was just a flat-out embarrassment. I mean, you had mistakes that this team would never make, like Nico Horner made an error, Matt Shaw made an error. Matt Shaw has been, pretty good defensively this year. Offensively, he hasn't, but ever since the All-Star break, he's really started to pick it up. I think he's had like 4 home runs. He's batting around like 400 since the All-Star break. So, we're gonna obviously have Matt Shaw go on the second half, come up as we Couldn't trade for Eugenio Suarez as he went to the Mariners last night. And we got about like 20 minutes till the trade deadline. So hopefully in our first ever episode, we could have a move. And it looks like the Cubs did get Willie Castro. I'm really sorry. I didn't even realize that. I just saw on my phone. But I'll get to that in a second. But that Brewers series wasn't very good. We were making mistakes. Pete Crow Armstrong had a fly ball that he catches like 99 times out of 100 and just flat out just dropped out of his glove. So, that was not very good. But overall, it was good for us to come back in this series yesterday and salvage a win. And we blew them out the water yesterday with a final score of 10-3. We called up Moises Ballesteros. He had a big hit in like the fourth inning to get our lead to 5-1 and like a 3-run double. Like that was his biggest hit of his career, and that was probably the biggest hit of the season because had we gotten swept by the Brewers, we would have been 3 games back of that really hot team in the division. But now we're only 1 game back, and we're 19 games over 500. We're 62-43. We're having a good year. Hopefully the next 20 minutes we can make more moves. I obviously just saw that we traded for Willie Castro, which I'll get to that in a second. But I'm going to be honest, overall this season I've just been really grateful. I just haven't been able to experience many seasons as a just Chicago sports fan. Like, enjoyable. I've started to get into sports this decade and obviously not with the Cubs, but like this is the first season in a while where I've really gotten to be like, wow, this team is incredible. Like this team is a contender, and this Cubs team is a contender, and I'm really glad that I could be making this podcast while the Cubs are a contender. So, yep, we're 40. We're 62-43. Got a series coming up against the Orioles. Shota Imanaga made the start yesterday and got the win against Freddie Peralta. Tomorrow we have Kate Horton going. Saturday, I wonder if it'll be another bullpen game or if it'll be Mike Soroka. Soroka was traded for last night by the Cubs. We traded our number 13 and number 14 prospects, which I do think is kind of an overpay. But at the same time, some of our prospects don't pan out, and one of them was like 18 years old. So it's kind of one of those deals where, look, man, he's going to shore up the pitching staff, and I don't really think it's really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. So maybe Soroka will start on Saturday, but I'm not sure. The Cubs still have about 20 minutes to go get another starter. There are rumors about them getting Mackenzie Gore, and I would really like that. Mackenzie Gore or Joe Ryan. But we'll see Saturday. Unless it's Mike Soroka, probably another bullpen game where we got Ryan Brazier pitching in the first inning. And, I mean, I don't really like those bullpen games. We had a bullpen game on Sunday against the White Sox. And Ben Brown, I will say, he came in for most of the innings, for like 5 innings. And he pitched really good compared to all those other, like, really bad outings. I will say that. But, overall, just got to get the pitching staff, shored up. So I like the Soroka move. Could use more bullpen help too. Listen, I get it. Compared to like last year, 2023, our bullpen's way better. We actually have a closer this time, knock on wood. Daniel Palencia just firing 100-mile-per-hour high fastballs up to like 102, like on a consistent basis. He's been pretty good, and hopefully he can continue to be good. Brad Keller's been really good overall this year. Caleb Theobar, what a signing by Jed Hoyer. He's made a lot of cheap moves, and I don't like that, and I don't like the Ricketts for being so cheap, but some of them have panned out. Caleb Theobar being one of them. I really like the Caleb Theobar move. He's got like a 2.02 ERA. He's been awesome. Drew Pomeranz started off great, but he's starting to fall down. Chris Flexen had like 22 innings of scoreless baseball. Then he just got DFA'd because after that Mariners series where the whole Mariners offense was just raking against us, Chris Flexen from that point started to struggle, so we DFA'd Chris Flexen. which is kind of sad because I really liked him, but he's been struggling mightily lately. Could say the same thing for Ryan Presley. I know the ERA is not horrible, but like the expected ERA is pretty terrible, and he's put us in some scary situations at the beginning of the season when he was named closer. Porter Hodge, we'll see what happens with him. He hasn't really had to do much. I don't think he's on this roster as of right now, but I do like I do like Porter Hodge. I think he has some really nasty stuff. And Drew Pomerantz, again, another like kind of a Chris Flexen situation. He hasn't gotten DFA, that's the difference. But man, Drew Pomerantz has started to die down like a lot, and it's not been good. That's why I think the Cubs need to make some moves over these next 20 minutes to shore up this bullpen, and I'll obviously give you guys some updates during the show if there is any. But now we're going to speak about these trades. So the Cubs, obviously, as I mentioned before, got Mike Soroka, but they just got Willie Castro a few minutes ago. And I actually wanted to talk about that because Ian Happ, who has started to pick it up a little bit lately, he hit a home run in that White Sox series. He banged Colson Montgomery into the ground. He took a hit for the team. Well, I'm proud of Ian Happ for that. You know, the Cubs just got Willie Castro, and for a struggling Ian Happ, I will say, you know, that could be good on days where Ian Happ is facing lefties. You can put Willie Castro in. You know, Ian Happ just hasn't been doing good on the right-handed side of the bat, and you're just going to need, if you want some offensive insurance, I think that Willie Castro is a good move. His numbers, he's got like a 700 OPS, like 250 average. He's been decent. This is not like the craziest move. Maybe you guys know something I don't, so just let me know down below in the comments. But I like the move. You know, especially we did need like someone like our bench is pretty weak. Our bench is really weak. Justin Turner has not been very good this year. Vidal Brujan just got DFA'd. John Birdie doesn't really move the needle offensively off the bench. So, and on any days that Willie Castro would be in the bench, I also feel like it could do good. Even if Ian Happ was moved to the bench, I feel like, you know, could start to pick up some rhythm for him. But overall, I think it's a fine addition. I think it's an addition that can be very complimentary to this offense, which, you know, our offense is great. You know, Pete Crow Armstrong has been wonderful this year. Has like 28 home runs, like an 860 OPS. He is a legit MVP candidate in the National League. Seiya Suzuki has been struggling mightily lately, but Seiya Suzuki has had a very good season nonetheless. Has like 26 homers. He should have made the All-Star team. Got absolutely snubbed. Same goes for Michael Busch, who has like 22 homers right now, like a 890 OPS. Kyle Tucker, he's struggled over, you know, the past few weeks, but he's got like damn near a 900 OPS, still a difference maker. And Jed Hoyer, you better re-sign Kyle Tucker, do whatever it takes. You got extended. That doesn't mean that you can't just not extend Kyle Tucker. They better extend Kyle Tucker because if not, this team could be just in shambles. I mean, he is the difference maker to the squad, and I've said this so many times. Pete Crow Armstrong, Seiya Suzuki, Michael Busch, you know, all these guys. Carson Kelly even. Hell, Miguel Amaya, who when healthy had like an 800 OPS. These guys are all good players. These guys were on the team last year besides Carson Kelly. They weren't playing nearly as good. We barely had any dudes hit an 800 OPS last year. Our best offensive guy, if you look into it, was Ian Happ. He had 25 homers. PCA already has like 28. So you look at it, that's why it's so important to have a difference maker in Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker is the difference maker. The numbers may not be as good as Pete Crow Armstrong's. Hell, it may not even be as good as Seiya Suzuki's, but he is the difference maker. He is the glue to this team's success, at least offensively. We need Kyle Tucker. I don't care what it takes. I don't care if it's $500 million. I know David Kaplan was like, oh, he hasn't been very good over the past few weeks. You think that deserves a $500 million contract? I don't care. I don't care how much he gets. I don't care how much we overpay for him. You need that difference maker in your lineup. I get it. PCA right now is looked at as a difference maker. I'm sure they are. But we need him. Plus, we just traded Cam Smith and Isak Paredes away. Isak Paredes all-star this year. Cam Smith's batting like 275 with a 750 OPS. He's been great with great defense in right field in his rookie year. You know, his rookie year, he just got drafted by the Cubs last year. You know, so we need to extend Kyle Tucker. Now we got about, I'd say, 11 minutes to the trade deadline, and talking about some trade rumors. Obviously, the Cubs just got Willie Castro, which I obviously just dug into. Jed Hoyer, you're down, man, to your last few minutes. Can you get us some more pitching? You got us Andrew Kittredge. You got us Mike Soroka. Do you want to get us another starter? There's been rumors about Mackenzie Gore. I've seen a lot of, like, big-time rumors that, you know, they're look to give up Owen Casey, which, I mean, look, man, I get it. Gore has a 1.29 whip, but at the same time, man, like, this guy has got years of control. He's got, obviously great stuff. He's got ace material level stuff. I wanted Joe Ryan personally. Now that we traded for Willie Castro, I just don't think the Joe Ryan move is going to happen at all. That's probably the last interaction that Jed Hoyer is going to make with the Twins, most likely. I hope over these next 10 minutes we can get I'm hoping we can get Mackenzie Gore. I'm wondering how much it's going to cost. It's going to cost us a king's ransom for how much inflation these trades have been going lately. If you guys didn't see earlier this morning, Jeff Passan tweeted that the Padres traded like the third best prospect in all of baseball for Mason Miller and JP Sears. So it'll cost a lot, but man, this team is in, man. Like, this team should go all in. You know, like, this is a good team. Like, I don't know if you guys, like, are on Cubs Twitter a lot, but I've seen it. Like, there's guys that know their ball, like Barstool Carl, and he was like, he's like an older Cubs fan, but he watches the team on a daily basis, and he was like, a couple weeks ago, he's like, this 2025 Cubs team is up there with, like, the best Cubs teams he's ever had to see in his, like, 38 years of watching them, right? He was like, this is like number 2 to 2016. Like, he said, this is by far the best team, not named 2016, Cubs team that he's watched. And this by far is, like, the best just sports team I've been able to be a fan of. Like, this is the best sports season for a sports team that I've been able to witness, like, deeply, like watching every day, thinking about every day. Because in 2016, I was a little kid. I didn't know better. Like, now, like, I wish I was the fan that I am now back in 2016. I went to the parade and everything, but I wasn't the fan that I was now. But now I feel very lucky to be able to experience this season that the Cubs are having. And I know this episode is just kind of all over the place, and it's just my first episode, so just bear with me here. I will, you know, organize this show a little bit more over time. You know, I'll recap all these games. But, you know, overall, it's just been a really special season. We got about 8 minutes till the trade deadline, so hopefully Jed Hoyer can wake up, make some moves, hurry up on the phone. If Owen Casey has to get dealt, all right, man, get me a big name. Come on, let's go for this World Series, man. We can do it. All right, but that's gonna do it. If any trade happens within the next few minutes, I will make another video and I'll tweet about it on Twitter. But other than that, I really appreciate you guys coming in to listen to me with my first episode of the Waveland and Sheffield podcast. I cannot wait to get more Cubs news to you guys and just more Cubs talk. And I can't wait to just create a great bond with all you guys and just create a great community. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy this trade deadline and enjoy the Hall of Fame game if you are a football fan. If you're a Lions fan or a Chargers fan, let me know. I hope you guys just have a wonderful day. Stay blessed.